Welcome back. The Trump administration is ramping up efforts to strengthen America's military readiness, continues to do so, reducing dependence on China. Exiger, an autonomous supply chain management company and AI defense contractor, is playing a part in that by helping to identify the weaknesses inside America's defense base using AI. Now, the technology can trace where components in our weaponry systems come from, so it can be sourced domestically instead. The company finds China controls the materials for at least 28,000 parts the U.S. uses in over 1,400 of the U.S.'s weapon systems. Joining me now is the CEO of Exiger, Brandon Daniels. Brandon, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Very interesting company you have. So tell us how the AI works to identify where the weaknesses are and where the components are not being sourced domestically and instead coming from our #1 adversary.
Good to see you, Maria. Thank you for having me on. So the artificial intelligence essentially breaks every part, every product that the military makes or over 500 of the Fortune 2000 companies make. It breaks them down into their product bill of materials automatically. So we basically know what every part or what every product is made of because the AI breaks it down into that bill of materials. And then we utilize our data, which is the world's largest supply chain data set, to ascribe to each of those parts of the BOM the suppliers. And we do that recursively using AI. And it's a process that only with the powerful artificial intelligence that we now see in the market can be done. And what it does is it allows us to see those 3, 4, 5, 10 tiers away from you where you have these diamonds at the end of the supply chain. Everybody thinks supply chains are these big triangles, these big pyramids, where there's one supplier at the top and there's 10,000 at the bottom. It's not true. At the bottom, you usually run into one supplier that does photolithography, or one supplier that gives you copper, or one supplier that gives you a magnesium casting. And those critical dependencies are where China has targeted and where our fragilities are.
Yeah, so without giving away too much, I mean, where are the most vulnerabilities in the supply chain for the U.S. when it comes to weapons?
It's not giving away too much, Maria. There is a big, thick middle of manufacturing that China has targeted over the last 20 years. It's economic warfare, Maria. It started first with the competitive advantage that China had labor arbitrage. When that was starting to dwindle because of automation and because of U.S. trade policy, they then went after it with a set of illegal practices. Forced labor, as an example, became a part of how China disintermediated the United States. Tariff evasion and illegal transshipment, illegal state subsidization of trade. And that economic warfare has continued. But we finally have a way to get out of it, right? We finally have a way to get out of it. So we've had over 360 major manufacturers that help us to do iron castings, magnesium castings, forgings, all of the tough work that helps you to produce these ultra-hard parts that are mil-spec'd. We've had over 360 companies in the United States that supported that defense industrial base. That has now shrunk to less than 120 over the last decade. And that's because of this Chinese focused effort. But there is a way out. Through autonomous workflows, through automation, through robotics, through artificial intelligence, we can stab through the labor arbitrage, through the forced labor, through these abusive economic practices, and we can return manufacturing to the United States.
Well, the disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz have also impacted the supply chain issues, right? I mean, that could also impact the military preparedness. What do you say about that?
You're 100% right. It's a new domain of warfare. And Iran has specifically been targeting not just capacity, not just industrial capacity that supports the war effort. They have been hitting industrial capacity that hurts America on the diplomatic stage, that hurts reverberating supply chains. So you saw it with the attack of the Ras Laffan facility, where they took out 30% of the world's helium. You saw it with the attack on the Saudi petrochemical facilities that produce the epoxy resin that's necessary for all of our printed circuit boards that go into phones, that go into computers, that go into our military capacity, the ability to produce our weapon systems. And so this is a new domain of warfare, Maria, and we have to win this war. And the good news is, again, you know, the cost of real estate in North Texas is actually cheaper than that in Hebei, China. Our ability to get access to these autonomous systems that support manufacturing floors, it's a global price floor. So if we can return our workforce to these new forms of manufacturing, we can compete on the world stage, and we can increase our industrial base, and we can get back our military capacity, which is what the administration has been working on. It's been a real transformation.
Well, that's right. And the president has been trying to get the Strait of Hormuz opened for a number of reasons, most importantly, to get more oil flowing and prices lower. Here's the Secretary of Energy with me yesterday on just that. Watch this.
The United States is going to have free flow of traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. It can be in an agreement with Iran, or it can be without an agreement with Iran. And I think the fear that the United States' military is going to open the strait whether Iran wants it or not made them realize, if that's true, we've got nothing. We have no remaining leverage. Maybe we should get more reasonable and get back to the table with the United States and see what we can get out of this. We're going to have to give up our nuclear program. We're going to have to stop terrorizing the Middle East.
Brandon, we'll see how long this takes, but it looks like we could be close to a deal, and that would certainly help the Strait. We'll be watching your company, certainly, for those holes that we've been talking about. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Maria.
All right.